what are the key parameters that you see are very critical from a future, next 5 years, or, what are the things that you see that are going to define, next 5 years of the digital media? We've seen, probably a shift from, as you mentioned, probably pure performance lead, or, digital was always about, how, what's the kind of, performance that you're getting out of that versus I see a lot of change that is happening from digital being part of your business now. So what do you think, how is this shaping up?
So at the outset, continuing the thought that Shams started with, that it's not exclusively digital and mainline, etc. anymore. And one of the reasons contributing to that also is the fact that consumption of content is happening increasingly on a digital device. So the traditional form of content, which was say television or print, more newspapers probably are read on a phone or a tablet. More television content is consumed through maybe your YouTube or a Netflix kind of a channel or OTT channel. So finally, the consumption is happening on a device which is a digital device and which has then an ability to have data being captured about the consumption, about the consumer who is consuming the content, about the habits, about the other interests that that consumer has, and which is why there is increasing amount of learning or data mining that we are doing about that consumption, which was perhaps not that much possible when it was being consumed more traditionally, when television was seen on a box, or when newspapers were actually largely consumed on paper. Now all that plus digital only content which is also being there and being consumed, and of course the transaction engines and the e-commerce and the variety of fintech products which consumers are increasingly engaging and consuming, that makes it largely a digital powered world. But hence from an agency perspective, or from let's say that distinction of digital, non-digital, I think those things are not relevant anymore, because finally the end delivery is happening increasingly on a digital device. Having said that, we've swung a long way. So when early days of digital, when we go back to the cull or the yesterday, digital started out being an afterthought. It was still largely a mainline or a traditional creative-driven marketing world. And if budgets are left to some extent, a little bit of digital happens. So definitely a huge onus or ownership of performance for the brand in terms of whatever goal that they were trying to achieve lay on the traditional medium or the creative agency. From there, certainly, people discovered digital and leads and performance, and also, in some sense, the pendulum started swinging the other way. And now, again, there is a realization that without creative, the performance is not really going to, by itself be sufficient or adequate. So we're again sensing that the two need to work together, but now I think on sort of an equal footing, that a good creative ideation or understanding or expression combined with the right usage of creativity and technology on a digital platform is what's going to deliver the best results for the brand. And that's where I think we are headed in terms of the future.